viewers, welcome to the TainoXtreme YouTube channel. In today's presentation I have this accessory DIY for my squeeze sawyer and squeeze sawyer mini water filters. It's a filter for backpacking purposes. It's well known out there for being very versatile, but there's one thing that it doesn't. I don't like at least about it, and it's not the filter itself. It's the bottles that come with it. Let me show you the bottles. This is the DIY thing I made. I'm going to talk about that a little later. But for now, we just show you the bottles. It's a flat bladder bottle that if you try to fill this up in a cascade, there's no problem. You can fill it up. And if you try to fill it up in running water, it's doable also, but it takes a little more time. But if you try to fill this up in flat water, the flat water offers pressure on it in the top and in the bottom. It keeps it flat all the time, and it's just impossible to fill up. So I was thinking how to deal with that, how to make this task faster in order to fill it up, in order to process my water, and you know, in a fashion that I could do this a lot faster. And I thought about this. Here it is. If you see this, this is a water bottle from Nestle company. It has this very same shape as Coca-Cola bottle, so you can use either one, or you can use a Lipton. I don't know, I have it somewhere here. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. Okay, anyway, I'm going to show you about that bottle. Here's the Lipton brand plastic bottle, and there's something very, very particular about these bottles. And what they have in common is the thread of this cap right here. This cap right here has the thread in here, which happens to be the same one of the Coca-Cola bottle, or the Nestle bottle, or some other name brand drinks out there. And what do you get here? When you put it together like this, you get a scoop and you get a funnel. So in order to use this accessory, is just a matter of attaching it to the bottle like that, submerging it into the water, scooping the water up, lifting it up, and the water rushes down into the bottle. It's that simple. Now I'm going to show you actually how I made that, but before I do that, I wanted to show you how the Lipton name brand bottle, which is that one over there, also has the very same thread as this bottle. See? The same thread. Okay. Let me put this back. Take this out of the seam. Put this in here. Alright. Now how I made this. Simple. It's a very simple task to do. The way I did it was to put two of these caps, one on top of the other, glue it together. I use in this instance Gorilla Glue, but you can use crazy glue, maybe nails glue, maybe goop, and I don't know what other kind of glue, but you know what I had at hand was Gorilla Glue, so that's what I used. And then I drilled a hole through it. This is not the only. I thought about drilling many little holes. I thought about drilling only one hole, and then after that I was thinking, well, this is glue, and glue will not last there forever. Water is probably going to make its way in between these two caps eventually. I don't know, but as long as it stays there, you know, I'm going to keep on using it. So this is real cheap to make, and the reason is because you buy one of these bottles at the store, at the gas station, wherever, and then you keep it at home. You don't have to dispose of it, so that means no extra expense. Or you can go to the gas station and get it from the trash can, or you can go to a friend's house. See, not all the bottles, the water bottles out there have the same thread, but this happens to have the same one. The 2 liters Coca-Cola bottle happens to have the same thread, but I want to show you something very particular that I noticed from this bottle. I mean, from this cap. This cap is a lot shallower. See? It's not as tall as this one. So this one, I mean, that will offer you just a excuse me, some fractions of grams in weight saving. But what I was more concerned about was that the thread, I mean, this was not going to be so tall, so long, that it was not going to make a seal on the bottle. And the bottle is right here. But it does, to my surprise, it does make the seal. So it goes all the way down, it seals around, and when the water comes in, you don't have any water spilling around from this end. So you can use either one of those. You could use this one, or you can use this other one. The name brands that I mentioned were Coca-Cola, Nestle, and I also mentioned Lipton. Either flavor of Lipton, or at least the ones that we buy here. I don't know what this says here, if it says something. I think they took the, you know, the whatever it had out here, he took it off and disposed of it. So, but anyway, it comes in different flavors. The flavor this one was peach tea, and then it comes in green tea, and I don't know what other tea, but there's an option right there. Now this is something, I don't think that the glue is going to last forever, like I said earlier, because, you know, if you expose it to water for a longer time, water is eventually going to take this apart. But, you know, it's very firmly glued there. I'm not trying to, you know, detach it in any way. But I mean, I have used it maybe 2 times. The first time for testing purposes in the house, and the second time in one of my backpacking trips, and you probably saw it in my earlier video about backpacking trip in Stone Mountain. I was there with my backpacking buddy Alex, and he had the opportunity to use this for the first time, and that was a real field test. Here's a bottle. I want to show you what it looks like when they're both together attached. Uh-oh. Okay. There. They're firmly attached, like so. Okay? So, I already talked about the price of this, about how much you invest in doing this. This is something you don't even have to keep forever, because you can find it. It's so much available around you. And I already mentioned gas stations and some other places. So I think this is it for this video. This is a very cool thing to do. It's a very cheap thing to do. It's an accessory that is, I would say that whomever possesses the squeeze sawyer water filtration system is a must for them to have. Special tools to make this, just a drill machine, a drilling machine. You can borrow it, you don't even have to have one. And I guess that's it. Okay, in the earlier scene I was telling you about the difference between these two bottles caps. If you can see there, one is shallower than the other one, and that makes me worried a little bit. See, the shallower is the Lipton tea bottle, because I was afraid that this one, big one, the taller one, was this lip here, this border here, was going to keep, because it was longer than the other one, was going to keep from the bottle, the opening of the bottle, the bladder bottle, on top here to make a seal in the inner part here that has like a rubbery seal kind of thing. But if you can tell here, the bladder bottle has this flange way further from the top here, making it too long for this border of the cap to reach down here, so it seals completely, and there's no problem with that. And then you don't have a problem with the taller cap, you don't have any problem at all. Now, which one of these two caps to use in order to make this DIY accessory? You can use either one. You can use either two of the Coca-Cola bottle or Nestle bottle, water bottle, or you can use two of the Lipton tea bottle. It doesn't really matter, and you can either use two of each one or mix them, one of the other and on top of the other. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Now keep in mind that this one, the Lipton kind, has a little flange in there, making a little space between that flange and the inner part of this outer wall there, and this is where the lip of this outer part of the neck goes in between in order to make a seal. So it doesn't really matter. So they both will work just fine. Now let me give you an advice about the bottle. I use the bottle for the funnel part, the Nestle bottle or the Coca-Cola bottle, because as I could feel, it's a lot stronger than the Nestle bottle. This other one is a lot thinner plastic. This one already created a crack somewhere, and I didn't even force it in any way in order to do that. I just squeezed it a little bit once or twice when I was handling for this project, and it developed a crack. But on the other hand, this one is a lot stronger. And a couple of times when I was transporting it inside of my backpack, it went not completely flat, but like that. It comes right out, no problem. So this bottle is more advisable than using that other bottle. Now I'm going to give you now an example of how to use it when you go to collect your water at your water source and all you have is, like I said, still water. Let's pretend this is your water source, the pond, the lake, the river, but it's still water. It's not running water. That's what matters. So I'm going to try to dip this in that side here and put it straight up like that just to show you how it works. I will probably make a mess of water here. I gotta clean it up before my wife comes in. See how the water goes in there? It's a lot faster, it's a lot easier than if you try to do it without any help from this. See, I'm already making a mess. I better clean that up. See, I'm not going to do it anymore. See, it's almost completely full. That's what I wanted to show you. How convenient this is. Now keep in mind that when I drilled a hole in between the caps and the inner part of the caps, let me show you. I made a big old hole. I used a very big drill in order to make that hole, but when I was drilling it, I used a little one first, and then a medium-sized one, and then a bigger one until I was able to make a big old hole inside there. Then after that, I was thinking, maybe I should have made a bunch of little holes because it was going to strain or keep all the big debris from going inside of the bladder bottle. You know, it's better that way. Because then your water filtering process is going to be a lot easier. This doesn't represent a lot of weight because it's almost weightless. When the bottle is complete with the bottom here, this the part that I cut off. That's all you have to do with this part. It's very light. So without this, it's even lighter, but it doesn't represent a lot more weight in your backpack. And for the kind of services this is going to provide for you, I would say that, you know, you guys, owners of squeeze sawyer water filter system, you should have one of this. I don't know if they make something like this for it. I sincerely doubt it because I was looking in the internet at the different accessories they have for it. They have accessories connected to water faucet and camel bag, water bags and things like that, but they didn't have something like this in order to collect the water in the bladder bottle. So if they make one, I don't know, you guys let me know. I give 2 thumbs up to this because it's been very helpful. I have used it maybe 3 times so far in the field, like twice inside of the house for testing purposes, maybe a bunch of times, and it's been real good. I highly recommend it. I hope you like this, and then you put it to practice, okay? Okay, I want to throw you guys a challenge. If you can come up with something that is better than this, that is lighter, that is cheaper than this, more practical, then just let me know. Make a video about it. Throw me some comments. Let me know. Maybe you can make a video, this video about this, only this part here. At least looking forward to know a much better way to glue these two together. I was thinking that maybe if I take a soldering iron and make a welding, the plastic here melted all around this edge here until it comes on one part, and that way it's not glued anymore. I mean, it'll be glued inside, but it'll have that soldering job out there. Maybe this will be a little more reliable. So just go ahead and come up with whatever and let me know. I didn't want to forget to mention a couple of details, and that is that before I made this double-sided female cap for the purpose of joining this funnel scoop and the bladder bottle for the Squeeze Sawyer Mini, is that I used to just cut off the bottom of a bottle like this, water bottle, keep the regular cap, fill it up with water, and pour inside through this tiny hole. I think that was a lot of time. It took a lot of time. It was very time consumption. And now with this, it takes only a fraction of the time that I used to take to fill up this bladder bottle with this method. So it's a lot easier just doing that. Now the other thing that I wanted to mention is that when I first made this accessory, I glued it one on top of the other using Gorilla Glue, as I mentioned in earlier scenes in this video. Later on, accidentally, when I was trying to unscrew this, when I had these two parts joined together, I had them like this, and I tried to unscrew it. I accidentally grabbed both caps instead of grabbing the caps and the bottle, and as a result, accidentally, I detached one cap from the other. It didn't take that much of an effort to do that, meaning that that Gorilla Glue was not as Gorilla-like like they advertise it, at least not for this. And then I decided to switch something different to Goop. Goop is a glue that is very rubbery. When it dries, it doesn't become like a very hard plastic kind of surface. It retains its rubbery properties, but it is a very strong rubber kind of layer. So that works a lot better for this purpose. So I highly advise you not to use either Crazy Glue, Nail Glue, or Gorilla Glue, which to me all of them are nothing but the same. The only other glue that I didn't test that I had in mind was the kind of glue used for plastic car models that is called testors, so something like that. I don't know what other name brand they come in, but at least that's the only name brand that I remember, and I did not try that kind of glue. But this Goop glue is very good for this, so this is the one that I highly advise you to use. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you liked it and you take it in consideration. Please don't forget to subscribe, to share this video with others, and to subscribe to my channel. And of course, I'm looking forward to your comments, so bring me your comments and your suggestions later.